Welcome to your cinema. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are going to be looking at the Incredible Hulk. Also dive into concept and creation behind a legend. The Hulk is a superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Created by writer Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby, the character first appeared in the debut issue of The Incredible Hulk, May 1962. In his comic book appearances, the character, who has dissociative identity disorder is primarily represented by the alter ego Hulk, a green-skinned, hulking, and muscular humanoid possessing a limitless degree of physical strength, and the alter ego Dr. Robert Bruce Banner, a physically weak, socially withdrawn, and emotionally reserved physicist, both of whom typically resent each other. Following his accidental exposure to gamma rays while saving the life of Rick Jones during the detonation of an experimental bomb, Banner is physically transformed into the Hulk when subjected to emotional stress, at or against his will. This transformation often leads to destructive rampages and conflicts that complicate Banner's civilian life. The Hulk's level of strength is usually conveyed proportionate to his anger level. Commonly portrayed as a raging savage, the Hulk has been represented with other alter egos, from a mindless, destructive force, War, to a brilliant warrior, Worldbreaker, a self-hating protector, the Devil Hulk, a genius scientist in his own right, Doc Green, and a gangster, Joe Fixit. Despite Hulk and Banner's desire for solitude, the character has a large supporting cast. This includes Banner's love interest Betty Ross, his best friend, Rick Jones, his cousin She-Hulk, and therapist and ally Doc Samson. In addition, the Hulk alter ego has many key supporting characters, like his co-founders of the superhero team The Avengers, his Queen Kyra, fellow warriors Korg and Meek, and sons Scar and Hero Kala. However, his uncontrollable power has brought him into conflict with his fellow heroes and others. Despite this, he tries his best to do what's right while battling villains such as the Leader, the Abomination, the Absorbing Man, and more. Lee stated that the Hulk's creation was inspired by a combination of Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Although the Hulk's coloration has varied throughout the character's publication history, the usual color is green. One of the most iconic characters in popular culture, the character has appeared on a variety of merchandise, such as clothing and collectible items, inspired real-world structures, such as theme park attractions, and been referenced in several media. Banner and the Hulk have been adapted into live-action, animated, and video game incarnations. The character was first played in live-action by Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno in the 1978 television series The Incredible Hulk and its subsequent television films The Incredible Hulk Returns, 1988, The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, 1989, and The Death of the Incredible Hulk, 1990. In the film, the character was played by Eric Bana in Hulk, 2003. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, the character was first portrayed by Edward Norton in the film The Incredible Hulk, 2008, and then by Mark Ruffalo in later appearances in the franchise. Concept and creation. The Hulk first appeared in The Incredible Hulk #1, cover dated May 1962, written by writer-editor Stan Lee, penciled and co-plotted by Jack Kirby, and inked by Paul Reinman. Lee cites influence from Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in the Hulk's creation. It was patently apparent that the monstrous character The Thing was the most popular character in Marvel's recently created superhero team, the Fantastic Four. For a long time, I've been aware of the fact that people were more likely to favor someone who was less than perfect. It's a safe bet that you remember Quasimodo, but how easily can you name any of the heroic, handsomer, more glamorous characters in The Hunchback of Notre Dame? And then there's Frankenstein. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Frankenstein monster. No one could ever convince me that he was the bad guy. He never wanted to hurt anyone. He merely groped his torturous way through a second life trying to defend himself, trying to come to terms with those who sought to destroy him. I decided I might as well borrow from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as well. Our protagonist would constantly change from his normal identity to his superhuman alter ego and back again. Hulk comic logo. Kirby also stated the Frankenstein inspiration, stating, "I did a story called The Hulk, a Small Feature, and it was quite different from the Hulk that we know. But I felt that the Hulk had possibilities, and I took this little character from the small feature, and I transformed it into the Hulk that we know today. Of course, I was experimenting with it. I thought the Hulk might be a good-looking Frankenstein. I felt there's a Frankenstein in all of us. I've seen it demonstrated. And I felt that the Hulk had the element of truth in it. And anything to me with the element of truth is valid, and the reader relates to that. And if you dramatize it, the reader will enjoy it. Kirby also commented upon his influences in drawing the character, and recalled the inspiration of witnessing the hysterical strength of a mother lifting a car off her trapped child. Lee has also compared Hulk to the golem of Jewish mythology. In The Science of Superheroes, Gresh and Weinberg see the Hulk as a reaction to the Cold War and the threat of nuclear attack, an interpretation shared by Weinstein and Up, and Oy Vey. This interpretation corresponds with other popularized fictional media created during this time period, which took advantage of the prevailing sense among Americans that nuclear power could produce monsters and mutants. In the debut, Lee chose gray for the Hulk because he wanted a color that did not suggest any particular ethnic group. Colorist Stan Goldberg, however, had problems with the gray coloring, resulting in different shades of gray, and even green, in the issue. After seeing the first published issue, Lee chose to change the skin color to green. Green was used in retellings of the origin, with even reprints of the original story being recolored for the next 2 decades, until The Incredible Hulk Volume 2, number 302, December 1984, reintroduced the gray Hulk in flashbacks set close to the origin story. An exception is the early trade paperback, Origins of Marvel Comics, from 1974, which explains the difficulties in keeping the gray color consistent in a Stan Lee-written prologue, and reprints the origin story, keeping the gray coloration. Since December 1984, reprints of the first issue have displayed the original gray coloring, with the fictional canon specifying that the Hulk's skin had initially been gray. Lee gave the Hulk's alter ego the alliterative name Bruce Banner because he found he had less difficulty remembering alliterative names. Despite this, in later stories he misremembered the character's name and referred to him as Bob Banner, an error which readers quickly picked up on. The discrepancy was resolved by giving the character the official full name, Robert Bruce Banner. The Hulk got his name from a comic book character named the Heap, who was a large green swamp monster. If you made it to this part of the video, thanks for staying with your cinema. Stick around for the Hulk Smash bonus. Powers and abilities. Powers and abilities. Bruce Banner. Considered to be one of the greatest scientific minds on Earth, Banner possesses a mind so brilliant it cannot be measured on any known intelligence test. Norman Osborn estimates that he is the 4th most intelligent person on Earth. Banner holds expertise in biology, chemistry, engineering, medicine, physiology, and nuclear physics. Using this knowledge, he creates advanced technology dubbed Banner Tech, which is on par with technological development from Tony Stark or Dr. Doom. These technologies include a teleporter and a force field that can protect him from the attacks of Hulk-level entities. After becoming a fugitive from the law, Banner is forced to go on the run, and over the years learns various skills in order to both survive and remain under radar of those who are hunting him. Banner's most frequent method of travel includes hitchhiking, train hopping, or simply just walking, as he is unable to travel legally via planes, passenger ships, or buses due to being in several travel watch lists. Banner is generally on the move and rarely ever stays in one place for very long, and only does so if there's a possibility of curing himself. He will only ever stay in one place for an extended period of time if it provides him with complete solitude and privacy where the Hulk can do little to no harm. To avoid being tracked, Banner does not use cell phones, debit or credit cards, and will only use payphones or cash. He will often use fake identities when staying at motels or working jobs that require identification. Having been on the run for years, Banner can normally tell when he is being followed and will generally make a run for it when he is discovered. Having traveled across the globe, Banner is able to sneak over borders without being detected and can get by either knowing or learning the local language. Often traveling light, Banner has little to no possessions that he carries in either a satchel or backpack. Often losing everything he owns after transforming into the Hulk, Banner avoids keeping anything of personal value to him so that he can easily replace the items and clothes that were lost or destroyed. To support himself financially, Banner will work quick part-time jobs and will only accept payments in cash. These jobs have varied from simply working in low-pay diners to working as local doctor. Banner's work ethic, as well as his vast knowledge and skill set in science, medicine, and engineering, often help him get hired rather quickly. Unless desperate, Banner will generally avoid jobs that are high stress due to the potential danger of transforming into the Hulk. Banner has little to no memories of the Hulk's actions aside from his initial transformation, which he described as being extremely painful. Banner's lack of memories often terrifies him, as he is often transformed back to witness the devastating aftermath of the Hulk's battles, which both saddens and encourages him to find a way to understand his condition so that he won't cause any more destruction or harm. During his travels, Banner has developed several different techniques to help suppress or control his transformations when he becomes a little angry or upset. Among the techniques he has learned over the years include meditation and hypnotherapy. While they have helped him to better understand and suppress his transformations, none of techniques Banner has learned have helped him to gain full control over the Hulk. The Hulk. The Hulk possesses the potential for seemingly limitless physical strength that is influenced by his emotional state, particularly his anger. This has been reflected in the repeated comment, "The madder Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets." The cosmically powerful entity, known as the Beyonder, once analyzed the Hulk's physiology and claimed that the Hulk's potential strength had no finite element inside. Hulk's strength has been depicted as sometimes limited by Banner's subconscious influence. When Jean Grey psionically shut Banner off, Hulk became strong enough to overpower and destroy the physical form of the villain Onslaught. Writer Greg Pak described the Worldbreaker Hulk shown during World War Hulk as having a level of physical power where Hulk was stronger than any mortal and most immortals who ever walked the earth, and depicted the character as powerful enough to completely destroy entire planets. His strength allows him to leap into lower Earth orbit or across continents, and he has displayed superhuman speed. Exposure to radiation has also been shown to make the Hulk stronger. It is unknown how he gains biomass during transformation, but it may be linked to the one below all. His durability, regeneration, and endurance also increase in proportion to his temper. Hulk is resistant to injury or damage, though the degree to which varies between interpretations. But he has withstood the equivalent of solar temperatures, nuclear explosions, and planet-shattering impacts. Despite his remarkable resiliency, continuous barrages of high-caliber gunfire can hinder his movement to some degree, while he can be temporarily subdued by intense attacks with chemical weapons such as anesthetic gases, although any interruption of such dosages will allow him to quickly recover. He has been shown to have both regenerative and adaptive healing abilities, including growing tissues to allow him to breathe underwater, surviving unprotected in space for extended periods, and when injured, healing from most wounds within seconds, including, on one occasion, the complete destruction of most of his body mass. His future self, the Maestro, was even eventually able to recover from being blown to pieces. As an effect, he has an extremely prolonged lifespan. He also possesses less commonly described powers, including abilities allowing him to home in to his place of origin in New Mexico, resist psychic control or unwilling transformation, grow stronger from radiation or dark magic, punch his way between separate temporal or spatial dimensions, and to see and interact with astral forms. Some of these abilities were in later years explained as being related. His ability to home in on the New Mexico bomb site was due to his latent ability to sense astral forms and spirits, since the bomb site was also the place where the Maestro's skeleton was, and the Maestro's spirit was calling out to him in order to absorb his radiation. He is also shown to have a separate memory to Bruce Banner. When Spider-Man has the knowledge of his secret identity erased during Spider-Man One More Day, the Hulk later asks how Peter is doing, not Spider-Man. Upon questioning, he enigmatically states Banner forgot. But I don't forget. In the first Hulk comic series, massive doses of gamma rays would cause the Hulk to transform back to Banner, although this ability was written out of the character by the 1970s. Thanks for watching The Hulk with your cinema. Subscribe so we can see you in the next one. Take care, see you again.